Are you tired of feeling like your money disappears every month and you have no idea where it went or how that happened? Let's change that. This video is the first one in a series about 10 ways that you can help to change your financial trajectory. In this first video, we're going to be talking about how to create a budget and why it's important. Creating and maintaining a budget at home can be a game changer for managing your finances, whether you're saving for a vacation, paying off debt, or building an emergency fund. These strategies will help you to get started and stay on track. When my wife and I first got married, it didn't seem like we really needed a budget. But once we were pregnant with our first child, wow, boy, did that change everything. The way that we were taking in money and having it go right back out was not sustainable. And the way that we handled money would fundamentally have to shift. We're going to have another video in the future that talks about more of the specifics and the way that it even helped our relationship and our communication together. But for this video, we're going to stick to the basics. So let's get right on to the first point. Set clear financial goals. As Zig Ziglar once said, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. That is true of all goals, but especially your financial ones. Now, everybody's different. For some people, they're going to need to ease into this and start small. Start by saving for something that's attainable. Maybe it's something that's very necessary in your life. Maybe it's a piece of furniture that badly needs to be replaced in your house. Maybe it's an unexpected bill that you need to pay off as quickly as possible. Or maybe it's cutting right to the heart of the matter and figuring out the best and quickest way to pay off the debt that you have. If you had a goal to set aside 30% of your income for the next month, but you only achieved a goal of setting 15% aside, you would still have 15% set aside to put against your debt. That's huge. So whatever it is, talk to your partner or figure it out on your own. What is your clear financial goal for this month that you need to budget for? Strategy 2, track your expenses. For some people, this is kind of fun. For a lot of the rest of us, it isn't, but it's still very necessary and very beneficial. I remember talking with someone several years ago, and they made the comment that they wouldn't even want to know how much they spent on eating out. But the truth of the matter is, if they knew how much they spent while eating out, that would probably instigate some sort of change. And that's often what happens when we track our expenses, whether it's special coffee drinks that we're used to getting, or ice cream treats, or going out more often than we realize during the week to eat, or realizing just how much we're spending at the movie theater these days. Whatever it is, it's important to track the good and the bad, the income and the expenses. Because until you know both clearly, you're just guessing. There are lots of different apps that you can use to help track your expenses, some of which I'll list here. But if that doesn't work for you, you can still manually use your own method, whether it's in a notepad of some sort or an Excel spreadsheet. But start somewhere. Number 3, categorize your spending. It's great once you can actually start tracking your income and expenses, but then you have to make some hard calls on whether your expenses are legit or whether there are some things there that can probably be trimmed. Create different categories for your expenses. Always start with your needs first. Things like rent, utilities, basic groceries, and transportation. Then start tracking some of your wants, the things that help you get through the week. If you're used to getting a coffee every day, maybe you start breaking it up into every other day, or even further than that. Maybe you start making it at home. I know it's not as easy and convenient, and often it just tastes better when someone else makes it for you. But hey, this is important. The reality is, it's hard to make these decisions now, but in the future, you will see the benefit and reap the rewards. Number 4, use budgeting tools. Don't feel like you have to do this all on your own, or have to try to think of all these ideas by yourself. I often use this saying in other areas of my life. Why reinvent the wheel if you just don't have to? You know that millions of other people have struggled with budgeting, so Lots of other people have come up with solutions to budgeting. Generally, the free ones are really basic, and the paid ones are much more intuitive and easier to use. But if you're starting from scratch and you just can't afford it, start with a free one so that you can start somewhere. Here are some suggestions. Some of these tools can do more than just introduce you to budgeting. They can really help to simplify it for you. Number 5, prioritize needs over wants. This can be a very hard one to figure out. It's great if you can go through this one yourself, but it's often helpful to have feedback from a trusted friend. Often in life, things are a lot clearer to those who aren't emotionally invested the same way in our decisions that we are. So create a list and go to a trusted friend to ask them if they agree with your needs and wants list. Remember, the whole goal of this budget is to spend less than you are currently making, while still leaving some money for savings and debt reduction. Speaking of which, that leads us to number 6. Set up automatic savings. Many of us have great intentions when it comes to all sorts of things in life, whether it's exercising, meeting with family and friends more often, or saving for retirement. The first 2 you have to be quite intentional on, but the last one you can actually go on autopilot if you set it up right. So consider setting up an automatic savings withdrawal from your account. Money that will automatically come out without you thinking about it or taking any action, and that will go into a separate account to be stored for later or even invested automatically in something else. Automatic transfers like this are a great way to build savings over time in a way that you don't have to think about or remember. You can set this up with a savings account that's based out of your main bank, or you can try to create more separation by going to a savings account at another institution or a different type of account where it's easier to put money into than it is to take money out of. There's all sorts of different savings accounts, and we're not going to go into all of them here, partially because it's going to change based on where you live. Up here in Canada, we have the option of RRSPs, Registered Retirement Savings Plans, or TFSAs, tax-free savings accounts. With our tax-free savings account, did you know that there's a certain amount that you can put into it every year, and that amount continues to build every year? So even if you haven't been putting money into your TFSA for a while, the amount that you can put into it keeps growing, so you can try to play catch up. TFSAs can be one of the best and quickest ways to start on your savings and investment journey. Depending on the type of TFSA, you can pull money back out in the case of an emergency or significant event that comes up. But the main goal is that you can save money, and the interest that it generates within that account is tax-free. We'll talk more about that one in a later episode, but we're going to move on for now. Number 7, review and adjust regularly. The budget that you create for yourself today may not be relevant in 6 months. It's surprising how much life can change so quickly, how expenses can change, how life events can shift, how investments can change, how income can change. As you look over the budget and you start to evaluate your essential expenses, it's surprising how even your view of those can change over the next 6 months. Groceries can be an easy one to keep reviewing. The groceries you may view as necessary now, you may be able to find cheaper or better alternatives to 6 months from now. If you own a vehicle, then you know how maintenance charges can change throughout the year. Some people like to put money aside every month towards their vehicle, whether it seems to be necessary at the time or not. That way, when the surprise expenses come, there's always something to either cover the expense or buffer the financial hit a little bit. And that flows into strategy number 8, plan for irregular expenses. Irregular expenses are a fact of life. They're annoying, but they will keep happening. Even over the last month, my wife and I had a huge unexpected bill for one of our kids' dentist appointments. Things like this can rock your world, especially when you don't see it coming. But if you can start setting up an emergency fund for things like this, it can be life-changing and take away a lot of the stress that events like this introduce. Even better, if you know that you have some irregular expenses coming up specifically, but you're just not sure when, set up an account of some sort to help cover the cost of some of that. Set up an account that can help take the sting out of some of those surprise expenses. None of us like to see them coming, but we all know they're coming because they happen to all of us. Number 9, involve your whole family or your whole household. Anytime that you can get your family or the people who you're living with all pulling in the same direction, it makes these decisions around budgeting a lot easier to talk about, and the choices become a lot simpler. It can help avoid a lot of needless arguments because we know that money is such a touchy subject and is so hard on families and marriages. So keep communicating about the things that are important to you and the things that you're willing to give up, even for a time, in order to help out and help everybody move forward. Because anytime you're budgeting, it isn't so much that you're trying to help yourself in the here and now, as much as you're trying to help your future self out and set yourself up for even greater success. The other thing that communicating together as a family or household can do is collaboration and brainstorming. Talk about the different ideas you have and the things that you're thinking could help out everybody. There are bound to be things that you didn't think of that somebody else is thinking of differently, or just different solutions that are getting presented. It's worth hearing everybody out. And if everybody feels that they've been heard, then people are more likely to buy in to what you're trying to achieve together. Number 10, find ways to stay motivated. This can be done in all sorts of ways. For some people, a vision board can really help. Literally cutting out or printing out pictures of goals that you have, whether it's of a vacation to a specific place, or maybe it's a future vehicle that you're all longing for. Maybe it's an event that you're hoping to save up for. Maybe it's an event that your whole family can do together. If you had to pay for it right now, you just couldn't. But if you collectively saved and tried to cut your expenses, then you can see a path forward to it. Maybe it's even something like having to change your route to work or school so that you're not driving by that place that you always want to stop at. Whatever it is, find some common goals that you can all agree on and remind each other of so that you can all push forward together towards your goal of saving money. And then once you hit your goals, remember to celebrate. Mark the occasion. Do something. Don't go overboard, but budget out some sort of celebration that you can make together. Be careful how much you spend on it, but budget for some sort of celebration that you can do together to celebrate your win. Anytime that we can celebrate the achieving of our goals, it's so important to help us feel like, yes, we did it and we can do it. So start with your small goals, but then create bigger and bigger and bigger ones. Keep them attainable so that you're not discouraged by them, but keep going and don't stop. So as you're moving through your goals, remember to review them with each other, find different visual ways to remind each other of them, and help to keep each other accountable so that you can keep moving forward together. And like I said, celebrate the wins. These 10 strategies are truly just a starting point, and they can transform your approach to budgeting and help you achieve your financial goals. This video is the first video in a series called Top 10 Financial Tips, Budgeting Basics. In the following videos, we're also going to be touching on these topics: saving money, investing for beginners, debt management, retirement planning, building wealth, emergency fund, passive income, financial independence, and tax tips. So follow along with this series and key in on the themes that are going to be most helpful to you. Let me know in the comments what you find helpful or what has or hasn't been working for you. If there's another topic that you'd love to hear more information on, please let me know. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.